On this accord, P04F1 means the EVAP system may not be seeing the purge flow it expects. The vehicle may run normally, but the system can set the code when purge flow, tank pressure feedback, or the purge plumbing does not respond the way the PCM expects. Broadly, think possible purge line restriction or damage, purge valve operation, FTP sensor feedback, or connection issues. Before getting deep into testing, start with the basic system checks. Then turn the ignition switch to on Roman 2 or select on mode with the engine start/stop button. Clear the DTC with the HDS. In the HDS, select EVAP test in the inspection menu, then run the function test. If the result is OK, treat it as an intermittent at this point. Check for poor connections or loose terminals at the FTP sensor, the EVAP canister purge valve, the EVAP canister vent shut valve, and the PCM. If captured operating data is available, try to reproduce the same conditions. If the result is not OK, move into the purge line inspection. Turn the ignition switch to lock 0 or select OFF mode. Now check the EVAP canister purge line between the throttle body and the EVAP canister. You are looking for a poor connection, a blockage, or damage. If the line is not OK, reconnect or repair the EVAP canister purge line. If the line checks OK, continue with the vacuum test to separate the purge valve side from the rest of the system. Next, disconnect the vacuum hose from the EVAP canister purge valve in the engine compartment. Then disconnect the vacuum hose from the purge line at the EVAP canister side and connect the tube joint adapter, vacuum gauge, and vacuum pump/gauge to the hose. When using the tube joint adapter, wrap thread seal tape around the threads of the vacuum gauge. Make sure the hose, adapter, and gauge connections are correct before applying vacuum. If the hookup is unclear, pause and recheck the earlier diagnostic path instead of guessing. Turn the ignition switch to on Roman 2 or select on mode. Apply about 2 kPa 0, 6 in Hg, 15 mm Hg of vacuum to the hose. With the HDS, select EVAP test in the inspection menu, then command EVAP PCS on in single solenoid. If the vacuum releases immediately, go to the engine side purge line vacuum check. If it does not release immediately, test the EVAP canister purge valve directly. For the purge valve check, use the HDS to select EVAP PCS off in single solenoid. Disconnect the vacuum hose from the EVAP canister purge valve, then connect the vacuum gauge and vacuum pump/gauge to the purge valve. Again, use thread seal tape on the vacuum gauge threads when it is connected through the adapter setup. Apply about 2 kPa 0, 6 in Hg, 15 mm Hg of vacuum to the hose. Then command EVAP PCS on in single solenoid. If the vacuum releases immediately, the EVAP canister purge valve is OK, and the next thing to check is a blockage in the purge line between the purge valve and the EVAP canister. If the vacuum does not release immediately, replace the EVAP canister purge valve. If the earlier test released vacuum immediately, move to the engine side purge line check. Connect the vacuum pump/gauge to the hose, then start the engine and let it idle. If there is vacuum, continue to the FTP sensor performance check. If there is no vacuum, check for a blockage in the purge line between the EVAP canister purge valve and the throttle body. For the FTP sensor performance check, turn the ignition switch to lock 0 or select OFF mode. Remove the FTP sensor with its connector still connected. Connect the vacuum gauge and vacuum pump/gauge to the FTP sensor. Turn the ignition switch to on Roman 2 or select on mode. Check and record the FTP sensor reading in the HDS data list. Then slowly apply about 1.3 kPa 0, 4 in Hg, 10 mm Hg of vacuum to the hose and watch FTP sensor in the data list. Be careful not to exceed that vacuum because the FTP sensor can be damaged. If the value changes, check for a blockage at the EVAP canister purge line port. If the value does not change, replace the FTP sensor. Keep the logic clean on this one. Prove the code, inspect the purge path, separate the valve and line, then confirm the FTP sensor can respond to a small applied vacuum. After the fault area is corrected, Use the initial clear-end EVAP function test approach to verify the repair and confirm the code stays gone. For more diagnostic training, visit stepdiagnostics.com.